Good morning. I'm excited because yesterday I had an appointment to start the process of getting my wisdom teeth taken out, and it hurt so much. It hurt so much. So I wasn't able to talk a whole lot. It was a mostly silent video that I made yesterday. But today I'm feeling better, and although I'm not going to be talking a ton, I can do more. So I'm just happy to not be in that pain anymore. That was tough. I guess wisdom teeth are not a big joke. So here I have my tomato seedlings, and we are 2 days after our last frost date. And so I'm going to be sticking these out in the garden. I looked at the weather. It looks like we're only going to get to the low mid 40s. Now, since it's going to get to the low mid 40s at night for the next week or so. I am not going to be planting my pepper plants out yet because peppers really like to have, they don't like to go below 50. I mean, they're definitely a more tropical plant. So I am going to wait until I'm sure that our nights are going to stay above the 50s, and then I'll put my peppers out then. But tomatoes are fine going out as long as it doesn't drop below 40. Whew, that is hurting my jaw. Need to talk less. So let me show you what my tomato seedlings look like. So there are a couple of weeds in my tray, as you can see. I didn't really bother too much with them because I knew it was just going to be a little bit that these tomatoes were in here, but you can see that the tomatoes all have their first set of true leaves. And so I am fully confident putting them out in the garden now. They came out with their second leaves. Perfect timing. I'm very happy. I have a few other things in here since I planted them so closely together. Another thing great about doing this method of planting them late is you don't have to worry about having a ton of space for your tomatoes. I kept my entire tomato collection in this little tin casserole dish. So I did have room for my melons, watermelon, banana melon, Minnesota midget melon, like all sorts of different stuff. And then I did plant a couple of early prolific straight neck squash plants in here just to see if getting them started really makes a big difference this year. And so I'm going to plant many of these squash plants, and I've actually got the seeds put together right here that I'm going to take out to the garden today, and I'll plant these at the same time in the food forest in my garlic beds. So we'll see if giving these guys that extra couple of days or that extra week or two, giving them their first true leaf, if that gives them much of a boost to start producing. So anyway, it's an experiment. I like experiments, but these tomatoes, I'm so excited. Now, if you see, I put them in rows, and the way that I know which tomato is which is I made a map, and I made a mark on the pan right here so I'd know which side is the left bottom, and then I'll show you my map. So here's my map. First row on the top is chocolate stripes, and then on the bottom is ground cherry, because my husband adores ground cherry, so I can't help but plant that, even though it's not technically a tomato, I guess. We got Barry's Crazy Cherry, Alice's Dream, middle, Yoder's Yellow German, bottom. So I know where all the tomatoes are and what they are. And I'm going to plant them in the garden the same exact way. So I'm going to start at the end with the chocolate stripes on the left, and I'm going to work my way to the right with them. Now, all of my cherry tomatoes, though, I am going to put on trellises a lot like this in the garden, and I'm going to keep the rest of them on my string trellises that I made. That's the plan, at least, so we'll see how it goes. It's never definite until you actually do it, right? So I'm going to keep that with me. Use it more as like a guideline. It's more like a guideline anyway. Oh my goodness, my face is so puffy. Oh, whatever. As long as I can be in my garden, I don't care. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so I'm in the garden, got all my stuff, and I've been paying a lot of attention to the food forest lately, but I'm realizing that I really need to take care of the yarrow, which is spreading, and then my hops has turned into a monster. The nice thing about the yarrow is I'm going to be able to just grab the outer edges of all the yarrow plants. They spread by rhizomes, and I'm going to stick them in a bucket that I have right here with some water in it, and then I'm going to take those and I'm going to stick them into the wall, the rock wall, all around the property, because there's nothing prettier than a nice fluffy bunch of yarrow sticking out of a rock wall, growing their pretty white flowers later on. Let me show you my monster hops. So this is motherwort. This is hops. You can see this, the leaves of the hops, and my motherwort, and all those little strands coming out of it is hops. I mean, it's reaching out over here. I mean, it's taken over the St. John's wort. It's in the wormwood. I mean, it's like, it's everywhere. Look, it's even coming up over here, and it's coming out here. I'm gonna have to take care of this, but that will be another day. Okay, so the sun came out. I hope that means that the rain is holding off, although there's dark rain clouds in the sky everywhere. My son is out in the field trying to fly a kite. Running a lot. This is good exercise. But okay, so I'm going to look at my seedling tray of tomatoes, and for each section of tomatoes I planted, I'm going to pick the healthiest, biggest looking tomato seedling, and I'm going to plant 2. I think. I'm going to do my math and make sure that I'm right, but I'm going to plant 2, I'm pretty sure, and then make my way all the way down this row, get all these strings attached, and my goal today is get in all of the summer crop seeds. So zucchini, squash, which is kind of the same thing, corn, beans, watermelon, cantaloupe, all that kind of stuff, cucumber, all that kind of stuff before it rains. Let me show you the difference of what I planted just now and what I planted last week with my tomatoes. Okay, so here are the tomato seedlings that I planted today, and these are the ones that I planted from seed, and these are the ones that I got from the nursery. It's a beautiful Mennonite run nursery. I just love it. And you can see there's quite a difference. This is part of my experiment where I really truly believe that the tomatoes I planted late from seed will actually do better than the ones that I planted as starts from a nursery that had been started like in the middle of March. I started mine at the very beginning of April, I believe. And so we'll see what the difference between a 4-week head start and a 8 to 10 week head start does. And I really don't think that it's going to be a big difference. If you want to check out why I did that, you can go to my previous video, which is why I planted my tomato seeds way late on purpose, and you'll learn that whole reasoning behind why I did that. I think that it's going to go really well. So, but this is my experiment. We're doing it. We're seeing it. And you know, if I'm wrong, that's okay. Then I learned, and I'll know better for sure how to do it. And if I'm right, then I just caused myself to save a ton of work and get better production, which is kind of the whole point of gardening and trying to get better at gardening. So here we go. Okay, so I am in the food forest. I've got my little baby starts of the early prolific straight neck squash. It's a yellow squash. And I am putting it in the middle of this garlic bed. Let's see how it goes. I'm also going to plant some watermelon. I'm also going to plant some zucchini. And then I'm also going to plant some corn. So I guess I better get started. I got done doing all the stuff, the squash, the watermelon. I did corn, I did chives, I did peanuts. The peanuts is an ongoing thing, definitely, because, I mean, there are so many peanut seeds in here. There's so many peanuts. And I might plant some of these in the garden. We'll see. I think I'm going to have some empty spots in the garden this year, maybe, considering the fact that I was able to get some watermelon in when I didn't think I would be able to. I might have underestimated how much room I have when I made my garden plan, which is a beautiful thing. I'd rather do that than the other way around. Okay, so I've got a couple of things that I want to get in the ground tonight, and we're looking good as far as getting summer stuff in. So I got more beans I got to put in. And then some squash. I'm not going to do the eggplant or I'm not going to do the eggplant or the peppers until probably a week and a half from now. So our last frost date is May 3rd. So I wait until like the middle of May, last week of May, to get those things in, because last year, I don't know if you saw, I just did a food forest tour video. And I gave you the full forest tour, and I showed you pretty much what everything was. And then, but I did that yesterday, 2 days ago, 3 days, I don't know anymore. But last year I did it, and I had to wait until like 2 weeks from now, like it was late in May before I did my food forest tour. And the difference is astounding, because we kept having freezes up until like the last week of May. And so I am not going to put my peppers through that, just in case it does decide to go all wacky on us again. And but it's been a lot warmer this year, so hopefully it won't do that. Either way, I'm going to be safe about it, because those peppers are so important to me. Oh my goodness. And those eggplants, I'm going to get eggplants this year. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Every year I do it wrong. I have planted them in places where they ended up with no sun, like behind huge things of squash. I planted them too late. I planted them too early. I planted them next to things that just like squeeze the life out of them. But this year, I mean, all winter long, I was researching how to grow eggplants the right way, and I'm doing it this year. It's gonna happen. These are the best I've ever had so far, and I'm gonna keep it that way. Okay, so back to what I was doing. It's that time of day again. Oh, my absolute favorite. So, I wanted to tell you about something. Oh, I ate the first fruits from the garden. There was a carrot and it was so good. I had to thin it out. Okay, so I have radishes that self-seeded last fall that I'm growing. Well, I was growing until just now. If you can see here are some of the roots. Those are really big. I mean, this thing is about the size of my fist. That would not be yummy to eat at all. Not to mention, I don't really like radishes a whole lot. The idea of those radishes was, man, it's getting dark. I need to get my light on here. I let them grow until I need to take them out and replace them with something else, like the beans that I was planting, jade beans, which is a bush bean, and it's this beautiful green color. Oh, it's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, not the pod. Obviously, the pod is green, but the bean itself is green, which is cool because most of them are brown. There's purple ones too. Never mind. Anyway, I let those grow in my garden until I need to replace the spot that they're in with something else, because that root growing in the ground loosens up the soil a lot. And so the more that I can aerate the soil naturally, the better. And I didn't have to do any work for it. Now, it would have been even better if I just cut off the tops and let it compost in the soil. But I'm going to do the next best thing, and I'm going to just take this and put it in the compost. So I'll end up with that good nutrient-dense stuff in my garden eventually. But that's what I do with that. Now, it is getting darker, so I'm going to say goodbye. But I'm going to stay out here and I'm going to keep planting because this is my favorite time to plant. And it's getting cool, and I'm so glad that I didn't plant my peppers because it's definitely going to get into the mid-40s tonight. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you learned something, and if you didn't, I hope you at least had fun. And I hope that I'll be able to see you again, because maybe you'll hit the notification bell and the subscribe button. That would be just wonderful, please. And then also hit that like button, please. That would help out a lot too. If you want to check out my latest video, I did a full food forest tour, and it is heaven inside there. And the amount of things growing is absolutely astounding, although it's nothing compared to what it's going to be this summer. But I probably won't be doing another tour of that until July. So we've got some time before. It'll be cool to see a before and after kind of thing. I'm going to stick these in the compost. I'm going to put some more seeds in the ground. And I hope that you guys have an absolutely wonderful night. Thank you so much for watching, and stay blessed.